Have you ever wondered why some ideas just stick while others vanish almost instantly? You know, we tend to think of storytelling as this magical art form, a gift only a few people have. But what if I told you it's actually a science, a system, a tool that you can learn right now to make any message you have totally unforgettable? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's do a quick experiment. I'm about to show you two different statements. All you have to do is notice which one grabs you, which one makes your brain lean in and say, tell me more. Ready?
So on the left, we've got a fact. Sales increased by 15%. It's fine, it's a solid piece of data. But then, look at the right, the beginning of a story about Sarah. I'm guessing that's the one that hooked you. And that little pull you felt, that's not an accident. That's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Look, we're living in an absolute blizzard of information. Data, facts, emails, notifications, it's nonstop. To survive, our brains have gotten incredibly good at ignoring almost everything. But stories? Stories are like the secret password. They're the one thing that can almost always get through our mental firewall.
So let's peek under the hood for a second. What's actually happening in your brain when it encounters a dry fact, like that 15% sales increase?
When you hear a piece of data, only a couple of small, specialized parts of your brain fire up, the parts that handle language and logic. Think of it like turning on a tiny desk lamp in a giant, dark warehouse. Yeah, the information is technically in, but it's isolated. It's clinical. And because of that, it's really easy to forget.
But when you hear a story, something completely different happens. It's a full-blown neurological event. Suddenly, the whole warehouse lights up. Hearing about Sarah's journey doesn't just activate your logic centers, it also lights up your emotional centers and even your sensory cortex. Your brain starts to feel what she felt, see what she saw. You don't just hear the information, you experience it. And that's the difference between forgetting something tomorrow and remembering it for years.
And this goes way deeper than just making things memorable. Stories have this incredible, almost chemical ability to forge an instant connection with the person you're talking to.
See, a well-told story triggers the release of a neurochemical called oxytocin. You've probably heard of it. It's often called the trust hormone. It's the stuff that floods our system when we feel empathy and deep connection. So when your audience connects with the hero of your story, they start producing oxytocin. And guess what? That feeling of trust gets transferred directly to you, the storyteller. It's a biological hack for building trust.
Okay, so the science is absolutely fascinating. Stories light up the brain and build trust. But how do you actually do it? How do you build one of these things? Well, it's way simpler than you might think. It really just comes down to a simple, repeatable, three-step framework.
Step 1. You need a relatable character. Now, this doesn't have to be a superhero. Your character could be a customer, one of your teammates, or even an idea. The single most important thing is that the audience knows what this character wants. That desire, that goal, that's the hook. That's what makes us care.
Step 2. Introduce the inevitable conflict. Let's be honest, a story without a problem is just a boring report. No conflict, no story. It's that simple. The conflict is the challenge, the obstacle that stands in your character's way. This is what creates tension, and tension is the engine that drives a story forward and glues your audience's attention to you.
And finally, step 3. You've got to show the clear transformation. After struggling with that conflict, how is your character different? They went from struggling to succeeding, from being confused to having clarity. This change, this is your message. It's the whole point. It's the so what that you want to leave with your audience, wrapped up in a package their brain can't possibly ignore.
So that's the whole framework. That's it. A relatable character facing an inevitable conflict that leads to a clear transformation. These three little steps are the powerful engine behind pretty much every great story ever told.
So if you remember one thing, let it be this simple equation. Think of it as the unforgettable formula. Character plus conflict equals transformation. You can apply this formula to literally any message to make it resonate and stick.
Now, the real power here is that this isn't some high-level tool just for writers or movie directors. This is a practical tool for you, for your everyday life and work.
Just think about it. That next job interview you have, don't just list your skills. Tell the story of a time you faced a real conflict and created a transformation. That big presentation you're working on? Frame your main point as the resolution to a challenge your audience is facing. Even in an important email, you can use this. It immediately makes you more persuasive, more memorable, and way more influential.
So, I'll leave you with a little piece of homework. Think of a story from your own life, your own work. It could be anything. And then ask yourself this one simple question. What was the conflict? What was the problem that had to be solved? Because if you can nail down the conflict, you've found the heart of your story. And that is the first, most crucial step to becoming a truly unforgettable storyteller.